Hello, welcome to Perspectives channel. Different angles for the same situation. Today, we'll see a common theme nowadays. Hybrid or remote work versus impersonal work. How? Through three types of different responses. The corporate standard response, the corporate suicide or sincere response, and the ideal world response. Remember, these are just examples created for you to understand better and do not represent the absolute truth. Think about it and create your own. Okay, so now here we are speaking with the CEO of a large fintech company that has already expanded its operations from the US to other 15 countries. Let's get to it. Why are you eliminating the remote work model in favor of a 100% in-person or 4-day per week hybrid model? Okay, regarding your question, in-person versus remote working, the first type of response is the corporate standard response. First of all, it's a pleasure to be here. Let me introduce myself. I have a degree in business administration and an MBA from Wharton. I also hold several postgraduate degrees in innovation, digital entrepreneurship, and people management. First, it's important to explain why remote work became so popular, considering it has always existed. The COVID-19 pandemic. Of course, the advancement of digital tools, whether for communication, meetings, or cloud-based file sharing, facilitated remote work. But it was the pandemic, with its mobility restriction and health-related distancing, that caused remote work to explode. Again, working from home already existed, but for specific situations or areas. Now that the pandemic is behind us, fortunately, we've seen that remote work was hindering collaborative efforts, be it within a single department, across different areas, or with strategic partners and suppliers. Consequently, it was stalling the development of our employees. Isolated, they lost that space to observe and learn our employees, to interact over coffee or lunch, to walk from one desk to another, or to participate in meetings with different areas in a much more dynamic way than sitting in front of a computer. To give a few examples, a leader can help their team much more efficiently when everyone is present, sitting right next to their employees. They can see, hear, help, and guide any team member immediately, not with a scheduled appointment on, let's say, a video conference. Human beings were born to live in society, to interact in person, and to grow by observing the behavior of their peers. In person, you can hop in an elevator and visit other departments. Communication becomes more fluid and transparent in person. Everyone hears the same message at the same time. You can also see people's reactions. Company culture is strengthened in person because it is based on behaviors and nonverbal cues, not just words written in a manual. To put it simply, it is much harder to teach someone to ride a bike through a computer screen. You need to be by their side, holding the bike, walking with them to show how it's done. What is the corporate suicide or sincere type of response for your question? To be very honest, it's because of a lack of preparation on our part as leaders. How do you manage people and teams from a distance? It's harder, more complicated, and much more work. Let us not forget that there's no way to monitor if an employee is actually working the whole time. Sure, some people work much harder from home, but there are also those who slack off. It's simple. We don't know how to manage people and teams remotely. That's why we prefer in-person work. We're never taught how to manage people and teams remotely. And how are you supposed to play politics and networks and power games from a distance? Finally, what is the ideal world type of response? In an ideal world, both leaders and employees would be honest about their limitations. No one would be afraid of being reprimanded, fired, or having their career sabotaged. People would recognize their struggles and be truly helped by leaders and peers. Being able to speak openly about not knowing something or having difficulties wouldn't be seen as a weakness or misinterpreted. In this ideal world, everyone would be sincere about their expectations of one another. Promotions and bonuses would be truly based on personal merit, while always recognizing that no one achieves anything without a team. Character and ethics wouldn't even need to be discussed in the ideal world. Any company's cultures would be built on truth, honesty, transparency, and sincerity. In that case, working from home versus in person would be a personal choice and not a factor in productivity, growth, or promotions. It wouldn't make a difference in the ideal world, whether you were working from home or at the office. In this ideal world, leaders will know how to manage people, be it from home or from the office. Okay, today we saw three types of different responses for the same question. Remember, there are no absolute truths, and people may have different points of view from yours. Always consider that they may exist alternative tastes on the same matter. This will hopefully help you navigate more open-mindedly through life. Knowledge always makes us grow. We never should stop learning. Think about it.